So today I wanted to do a video talking about my fragrance pet peeves. I believe Tiff Benson did this video. Got a few things to talk about here. Again, these are just my opinions. Not everyone will agree with this. Some of them are super random and really don't have much of a consequence in the greater picture of things, but they're just things that annoy me. First of all, and some people may disagree with me, commercials. Fragrance commercials, I think, are horrible. I don't feel like they often get their point across. I don't feel like they often match the feel and the idea behind the scent that they're advertising. I don't know. It's like sometimes you can't even tell what they're trying to advertise until like at the end, and then you're like, oh, fragrance? That's what they're advertising? I don't know. Whatever. Not a big deal. I just don't like fragrance commercials. Now, something that bothers me a little bit more, because it has more to do with practicality, in my opinion, is in this day and age, there should be no reason that splash bottles and roller balls shouldn't be converted to atomizers. If we can make little sample bottles with atomizers now, why can't we make mini bottles, like the little splash bottles, have atomizers on them? And why are we still even using roller balls? Just, I don't know. I hate using roller balls. I hate using splash bottles. I still will do it, but like, why can't we just have atomizers on those now? Because I know that you can put atomizers on truffle sizes that are normally roller balls, and like I said, if we can put atomizers on little samples, then why can't we put them on splash size bottles, the little mini bottles? Doesn't make any sense to me. Everything should have atomizers now. Next is reformulations. I know a lot of people are tired. I know a lot of us are tired of reformulations. In my opinion, and I understand that reformulations have to happen because of IFRS standards and all of that. However, if the reformulation is so different from the original scent, don't call it the same thing. Just discontinue it if you need to. If it's like an ingredient reason, call it something else, because I've smelled reformulations that have just been so vastly different that it shouldn't be called the same thing, in my opinion. I find that really irritating. It's like, fine, I understand that reformulations have to happen sometimes, but if it smells that different, call it something else. Okay, next, this is something that I can easily ignore, but it's an eye roller for me, is so many flankers. Every fragrance line has so many flankers now, and it's just like, really. There are a couple of exceptions to this rule that I think the flankers are good, but in general, like, do we really need that many flankers? Next, this is, some people may disagree with me, but this is something that annoys me, is when different concentrations of the same fragrance have different note breakdowns and smell completely different. And like when an EDT and an EDP smell completely different from each other, and it's like, but I just wanted the same thing but less powerful. Why can't we just have that? Again, it's like, if it's gonna have that much of a different scent, call it something else. If you're gonna have the same fragrance in two different concentrations, to me, it should smell the same, but in different concentrations. Next, I think, is something that bothers a lot of people, and not just in the fragrance industry, but limited edition. And this kind of goes along with so many flankers, is that companies are pushing out so many products and so many different versions of products that everything ends up being discontinued. So once you find something that you like, too bad, you'll never find it again. So it's not like the end of the world, but it's still really annoying. Like my husband's favorite fragrance, I purchased for him through an eBay seller in Poland because it had previously been discontinued for like 4 or 5 years, and now it's another like 3 years later, and he's like cherishing it because I don't know if we'll ever be able to find it again. Next, the next thing that bothers me is high-priced fragrances that don't last. Again, in this day and age with the technology that's available, to me there's no reason that if a fragrance is so expensive, I expect it to last. If you're gonna charge that much for a scent, you better formulate it to where it's gonna be worth it to wear it. Looking at you, Atelier. Okay, and I'd like to end this video with something I would like to see happen. I would really love to see less gender marketing with fragrances, because let's be honest, wear what you like, but unfortunately that affects a lot of people's decision because they just don't think out of the box. So I personally would like to see fragrance marketed as fragrance and not specifically towards a gender. I don't like the word unisex when it comes to fragrances. Androgynous, I like androgynous fragrances, and I wish that I want to see more fragrances come out just as fragrances for whoever wants to wear them. Yes, so that is my rant for today. I hope this was entertaining at least. Let me know what your biggest fragrance pet peeves are down below in the comments. Leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. It really does help me out. My social media links are listed down below. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.